Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And I'm playing catch up on a lot of the Guns N' Roses news from this past week. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. So this article appeared on the Irish Sun. This article really blew my mind. So it's called Castle of Cards. Guns N' Roses concert goers watch Netflix at Slane gig. It's revealed as three release internet usage figures. So Three Mobile says that their customers used 778 gigabytes of data at the venue, the equivalent of streaming more than 105,000 songs. So there was about 80,000 people who went to the Slane gig. And this, of course, was way back on, was it May 27th or so? It said the Slane concert goers watched Netflix on their mobiles at the concert. So like I said before, they talked about how much it is in streaming. They said Snapchat led the way with 19% of the mobile network's data used. The actual article is a little misleading. So Snapchat was the most popular app that was used. I feel super old because I don't even know what Snapchat is, and I don't even know how to use it. I feel like that's a younger app that younger people use. It also said that's closely followed by Facebook with 18.5%, while Instagram accounted for just 4% of the data used, with Twitter on less than 2%. Despite being at the concert, concertgoers used 7% of the data on YouTube, with 2% on music streaming and a further 1.5% on Netflix. They also revealed that messaging app WhatsApp was used by almost 90% of Three customers' venue, while general browsing was also utilized by music fans. And Three Chief Commercial Officer Elaine Carney said, Three continues to carry more data than all other operators, and is Ireland's only provider of all-you-can-eat data. Three prides itself on bringing its customers the biggest live experiences. This is a phenomenon to me which seems really new because, like where I live, it's really hard to get mobile companies to actually agree to give you a plan with unlimited data. I think the last time I tried to get unlimited data, the most I could get was like 6 gigabytes or so, which to me is really ridiculous. I think the first phone I had like 500 megabytes of data. So this is a story that we talked about on the actual podcast earlier this week. So this is also related to the Slane Castle gig. So I posted a video of Slash and Duff on a helicopter riding into the gig. It was a really rainy day. And according to Joe.ie, there was actually a fan who talked his way onto the Guns N' Roses helicopter at Slane. So on the latest episode of the Joe Show, they had welcomed a fellow who had actually talked his way onto the helicopter. And basically, this guy was dying to get on the helicopter. And, to get on the GNR helicopter is a pretty difficult thing. Unless you have like a VIP ticket, you wouldn't be able to get on. So this guy made it his mission to get on the band's helicopter and fly over Slane Castle and its 83,000 attendees. So basically, this guy arrived to the actual gig. He went with his friend. His friend bought the VIP experience ticket. And this guy only had a general admission ticket. Now, if you guys know anything, the VIP tickets do not give you access to the GNR helicopter. So this guy's friend was really disheartened that, he couldn't even get into the VIP experience. And he thought to himself, I should take this to the next level. So he made it his mission to get on the band's helicopter. And basically, here's how it happens. So there was this lady, Iona Mount Charles, who is Henry Mount Charles's wife, was present in the VIP area. So this guy was on the tour of the new bar and restaurant that was being unveiled at Slane Castle, and he found the opportunity to speak to Iona. So after a few minutes of chit-chat, he decided to bite the bullet, and he figured if I was to ask anyone about getting into the helicopter, it would have to be her. So he went for it and asked the big question, and as soon as the words left his mouth, she laughed out loud. At this point, he was obviously thinking there would be absolutely no chance of this happening. So as soon as Iona finished laughing, she proceeded to remove her all-access area pass from her neck, placed it in the guy's hand and said, off you go. And the guy had no words. He just nodded and basically in shock with his mouth open. And in less than an hour, he was sitting in the helicopter in the exact same seat that Slash had been sitting in. And as someone, he said, who's been a fan of Guns N' Roses since he was about 12, and he said he never dreamed of being in a situation where he's sitting in the helicopter flying over the gig at Slane. So he said the luxury, the thrill, the spectacular view of the iconic concert venue, the hint of rock and roll glamour, the fact. And so if you guys want to read the entire article, I've linked to it down below. We've also got a new interview with Guns N' Roses rhythm guitarist Richard Fortus. So he was being interviewed on the website audioboom.com. He talked about Guns N' Roses. The topic of new music came up, and he revealed that the band's got some ideas they've been kicking around. They're not really working in a studio setting. They're doing a lot of the recording just at sound check and that kind of stuff. It's kind of like what Guns did back on the Use Your Illusion tour. I think Matt Sorum was doing an interview, and he said they have like some of the audio engineers with them, like hit the record button, and they'll jam and maybe come up with ideas. He did sort of indicate that it's not really a good time in the music industry to release an album, but they definitely intend on releasing something down the road. So, I mean, you can go back and look at any Richards' previous interviews over the last, 5 years or so, and he's pretty much said the same thing. So I don't put much stock into whether we're going to see a new Guns N' Roses album. I think the reality of the situation is, guys, Guns will finish up this tour. They'll probably go their separate ways. They'll come back, keep touring, and, who knows if they'll do another song. I think the fact that they don't even change the set list night after night is maybe an indication that, who knows, maybe we won't be getting new music. But we'll wait and see, and as we get more updates, guys, I will let you know. Let's go on to our next piece of news. So we've got a Axl Rose story. So post-grunge singer tells Axl Rose strip club story. I was kind of a jerk off for Axl. So on June 16th, CKY will issue their first new studio album in 8 years, which will be supported this summer by touring as part of the Warped Tour. And to commemorate these events, singer-guitarist Chad I. Ginsberg recalled what it was like when CKY opened for Guns N' Roses back in 2002 and his memories of Axl Rose. He said, I would hang out with Axl almost every day after the show and kind of do the meet and greets with him. At the same time, I think he kept me around because I was a bit of a wild card and a bit of an asshole. I think back then, and I used to also say assholey things that maybe Axl would have loved to say but didn't have to, since he kept me around for a little bit. It was kind of a jerk off for Axl for a minute. It was good to get along with him. We got to hang out with him at strip clubs and talk production with him. He's a real particular dude. He is very much an artist. He would be the last guy on stage adjusting one light can, aiming it. He's on the stage and showing every angle. He didn't just go up there, grab his mic, and not know what was going on around him. Every little detail in that room he had paid very much attention to. He's that kind of guy. He holds a lot of control over his show, and that's really respectable. So if you guys want to see the entire article, I've linked to it down below. So that does it for today's video, guys. I'm going to leave you with some cool photos from this past week of Guns N' Roses performances across Europe. And hit the like button if you enjoyed the contents of this video, and be sure to follow me on social media. The links to my Twitter and Facebook page are down below. And be sure to subscribe if you love Guns N' Roses as much as I do. Thanks for watching, guys, and have yourself a good one.